for the big edition of UFC Vegas, the 50th card that we've had at the Apex, it definitely slapped. I think UFC Vegas really just, in terms of, the hype going, there's actually a pretty good amount of hype going into a fight night, one of the better fight nights on paper we've seen for a while. And it definitely delivered, Blake. I had a fantastic night. We're just not going to include the main event into any of this because that just won't count. We could forget about that one. And instead, we could just pay attention to all the crazy comeback fights, the crazy knockouts and submissions that we saw in this. And then, of course, the greatest, I guess, motivational speech from Khalil Roundtree that you've heard in a while. But Blake, how are we feeling after the on the backside of what was just a really good fight night?
Feeling good, man. Can't complain. It was a good night of fights, except for the main event. We won't get too much into detail right now, but I mean everything else, especially like on the main card and even the early prelims, were just awesome. A lot of finishes.
It flew by, bro. This card went by so quick at points. Kind of messed at the pacing.
It just seems like guys were just dropping like flies at a certain point.
Right? I was not complaining one bit. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into UFC Talk 82, where we're going to break down everything you need to know about UFC Vegas 50. We're going to take a look at some superhero type stuff and some potential super fights that can be made relatively soon. And then also, we're going to, of course, take a look at a loaded UFC London card. We're going to get to all that and more. But of course, this is Fourth and Long. You can find all of our stuff at thefourthlong.com. All of our MMA content is at thefourthlong.com/MMA. Of course, I'm your host, Ross Allen, joined alongside by the greatest correspondent, MMA correspondent in the world, Blake Campbell. Unfortunately, I can't say that he's the greatest manager of all time because he has still yet to get me a sponsorship. Blake, how are we going on that side of things?
You could have just kept it off, with the greatest, whatever you called me of all time. I like.
Bro,
that.
I gotta like bring your ego up, and I also gotta knock you right back down, so you're just at the same level.
Hey, being a manager's tough, bro, especially when you ain't even out there doing work. So I got to get my shit together. I got to get my shit together, go visit some Arby's or some Wendy's or something and see if I can get some money coming our way.
What's good, bro? You want to get some Chick-fil-A on there?
You were undefeated. It should be very easy for me to get a sponsor. I have an undefeated fighter.
Bro, no one's even landed a shot on me before. I am better than Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev has been punched once. Me, 0.
0 times. Haven't lost a round. Haven't lost a fight in general.
I don't know if this camera is big enough for the biggest arms in Boise, Idaho. All right?
It fit.
Hey,
barely.
Shout out to all those that understand the reference, though.
I mean, if you don't understand the reference, you need to, like, go look in the mirror. Go write down some goals for yourself that you need to accomplish. And then you need to go out and start doing that shit because that's ridiculous. You should know a lot better than that. Chael Song.
All right, Blake Roundtree out here.
Dude, that would be a sweet last name.
Roundtree is it's a pretty solid name.
I don't mind it. Better than Campbell. I mean, I just sound like a soup,
What if you were soup, Blake, what soup would you be?
Oh man, there's so many good kinds.
If we're talking about Old Ross, I'd definitely be chunky.
Like, you mean just like any soup in general or like a specific? I would say maybe like a broccoli cheddar.
Broccoli, okay.
In a bread bowl though, like Panera style.
Oh, I love a good bread bowl. I feel like I would be like a hearty, steak stew kind of thing going on right there.
A minestrone would be pretty good too.
Dude, minestrone hits, like a little minestrone. I love a good miso soup.
Ooh, miso soup, bro. I love that shit. I don't like that shit. I love that shit.
That's some good stuff, man. I guess this is going to count is the stuff that we ended up talking about without having any plans of talking about this. At least the elite part one per show.
Yeah. That's just part one. It's only been, 2 minutes in the show, and we've already gotten off track.
Welcome to the show, baby. Yeah, hey, but speaking of which, before we jump into UFC Vegas 50, I have finally had my first sparring session with the local firearm trainer with Jared. Shout out Jared Melton. Shout out to Ray Lawley. He actually has his first boxing fight. He does MMA, but he's actually having a boxing fight this Saturday. So shout out to the boy. And shout out to Black Bay Management. They're just the best. But we did a little sparring, and I finally got punched in the face, and it was kind of fun. Right? The first took a little bit, but first one I landed was just right on the nose. It didn't hurt, but it makes your eyes water instantly.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, he did give me with a nice hook and made my jaw a little sore for a day. Hey, but to be fair, I popped him a few times as well. I got the hook and jab in there. It's going well. And all I gotta say, it's really hard to hit someone. Unexpectedly hard.
Yeah.
No, it's really hard to land a punch on someone when they're moving, when you're trying to defend against 20 different things at one time.
Mm-hmm.
It's good, though. It's good fun.
Oh, yeah.
The jabs come along.
Get that preparation in. What?
Hey, I might be sharing secrets here, but I don't care, Jendo. You're going to need all the help you can get come later this year, because I'm loving the slips. Slip the 1, slip the 2, and loving the little slip 1 body hook. It's good stuff, dude. It's good stuff. We're gonna be an animal by fight night with you in my corner, of course.
Well, technically not in your corner, but I will be very close to your corner.
With you in my figurative corner.
Yes, always. Except for when we play each other on Sundays, Raiders versus Broncos. Then I hate you.
Hey,
for 3.5 hours.
Broncos with this offseason. Go ahead and tune into our weekly NFL breakdowns if you haven't had the chance yet. The Raiders kind of falling behind, Blake.
Just relax, bro. We got something up the sleeves.
Do you?
I hope. Shit. God. Please.
You see the Chargers game really good. The Broncos game really good,
air, bro.
I think I might actually be able to win some money this year for the first time ever.
I don't know. We'll see. Raiders got your number, bro.
Apparently. And speak of having speak of numbers, 50 is a number, and UFC Vegas just had their 50th. So, segue. I'm an animal. Let's talk about the first things first, Blake. Cause did the bangers hit?
Yes.
I feel like some people would dispute you slightly with one of these fights.
Well, I think that they're crazy. I mean, let's remind the people of what they were. Pereira,
of course,
versus Silva. Dober versus McKinney. And it was Song Yadong versus Marlon Moraes, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah. I mean, which one do you think would not be a banger? I think
maybe kind of hating on Silva.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe the Pereira fight, but it's like, dude, that guy got hit with almost 200 strikes in the face. I thought it was a pretty good fight. It wasn't like the flying knee knockout that Pereira had the first fight that he came out there, but I thought he showed decent, a decent base. Didn't look like he could really get, taken advantage of, like a lot of people were thinking that would happen. So I wasn't really too unimpressed with that fight. I thought he put on a decent performance, and would have been nice to see a finish, but nonetheless, stayed active, stayed in there, stayed out of trouble, and got a pretty dominant win, I would say.
Yeah. To be fair, though, one of the things I would want to ask about that is he got a pretty dominant win, but was it enough to back up all the talking he was doing about Israel Adesanya being scared of him?
No.
That was a little much. Is he being scared of you? One of the greatest middleweight fighters of all time, being scared of a guy that has had two UFC MMA fights?
Yeah, and I think it's just kind of the angle he's trying to play. I don't know if it's in his mind that he wants to do that, or if someone's telling him to act like that, because it is kind of weird to just come into the UFC and start, crap talking the champion. But hey, it's got us talking about it. It's got Twitter talking about it, so I mean, maybe it's the right thing.
Definitely had Twitter talking about it.
Yeah.
Sweet damn. But also had Twitter just kind of trash talking his MMA build compared to his kickboxing. So it's But what? Any publicity is good publicity. Are we still on that bandwagon?
I think. I think to a point. To a point. If you start crossing lines and doing crazy stuff, then that's definitely not good.
Yeah.
But I think what he's doing, the only thing that he could have done better, obviously, was just get the finish. Because then, the hype is back up to level 100. I think right now the hype is probably maybe like 50. So he's going to have another really good performance and then work his way up into that top 10, top 15, because that performance from this last weekend was decent, but it's not going to, move the needle.
Exactly. I'm right there with you. And speaking of another hype train, though, let's talk about Terrence McKinney and Drew Dober. Terrence McKinney, of course, taking this fight on less than a week's notice.
Like 6 days or something?
Yeah, right? But against a really game opponent in Drew Dober. He's not in the top 15 of the lightweight division. He's been in the top 15, and he's a really damn good fighter at the end of the day. So this was not an easy task for Terrence McKinney. McKinney actually almost gets one of his patent first 10-second finishes in the first round. But then Dober is somehow able to survive, and then he turned the tide, gets his own knockout here. So what do you think about Drew Dober here? But also, I just got to say that the hype around Terrence McKinney for me, it's there. If not, it might have actually gone up a little bit, even though he lost this fight.
Yeah. So first things first, Drew Dober, I'm super impressed with him. I want to know what his chin is made out of, because that dude, I don't understand.
Damn.
He took the Jorge Masvidal flying knee
not
to
gonna
the
lie.
face.
He does have a nice jawline too. That's a good looking man.
Pause. So yeah, I mean, the dude is a savage. He goes in there, he fights. He fought Makachev. Who did he fight right before that? Was it Riddell? I want to say it was Brad Riddell, and that was a hell of a fight too. So, I mean, the dude just goes out there and gets in bangers. So, all props to him for getting that dub. I think it helped a little bit that he got rocked so early because he wasn't tired, right? Obviously. Whereas Terrence McKinney, he kind of blew his load, right? Trying to get that early finish, and really he was so damn close. But I think, and even he admitted it too a little bit, when he got that knee to the body, it kind of took his air out. So he was kind of trying to gather himself down there, and then it's, anytime you're taking a rest in the UFC, it's almost a risk sometimes, especially if you're flat on your back on the ground. And that's where Dober was able to, finish the deal.
Exactly. And if anything, this is only going to make Terrence McKinney better, because his stock, it definitely doesn't devalue. At least in my case, it goes up. But also, this is some really good experience in octagon experience in a real fight against a legitimate opponent. He's only going to be better from this. Is I 100% believe in that. Whether it comes to experience on using the gas tank or just taking on a high level fighter than anyone he's fought before.
It's kind of like a Nate Diaz circumstance, where he got beat, but everyone was kind of cheering for him because you're like, damn, this guy brings the fight. He makes it so entertaining. Like, how can you not have your eyes glued to the TV when that guy comes on to perform? Every fight he goes out there, he's just guns blazing. He's
must watch. Absolutely. The UFC is Dana White has to hope that his stock only goes up, because this could be fun one, especially we'll get to UFC London, but depending on how Paddy goes, I mean, you might now have to see a fight with him and Tapura, but Paddy and Terrence McKinney, I wanted this, for a couple months now. That would be a firework fight. Absolutely. But let's get to the last of the bangers, and that was Marlon Moraes versus Zhang Yadong. And unfortunately, we just learned, if you're Marlon Moraes or a fan of his, MMA is one of the most unforgiving sports in the world. A couple years ago, you could be fighting and winning in a title fight for your division, and then you could be on a 4-fight losing streak, and who knows, he took off the gloves, so we'll see if he makes a return to the octagon. But Song Yadong continues to be one of the best not just bantamweight prospects, but just prospects in general in the UFC. This dude has freaking TNT in his hands and landed yet another solid knockout. This Team Alpha Male standout continues to go and just rock the world, man. And honestly, this guy really might be the limit for this guy. He's really, really good at MMA.
Yeah, I still have a couple more fights I need to see him in before I can say that.
Of course.
But yeah, I think he's an awesome prospect. Don't know if he's going to be champion because there's like a lot of studs in that division that he'll have to clean out.
I mean, the entire top 15 is a stud, and Umar is not even in the top 15 yet.
Right. So, I mean, there's some sharks in the water there. But yeah, I mean, just look at his performances, and he's getting finish after finish for the most part. And even in his decisions, they've been pretty entertaining, like the Marlon Moraes fight. Or, excuse me, not that one. Obviously, that one just happened. I was thinking the Chito Vera fight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's just a really fun guy to watch, and he gets really good results. So we'll see where he keeps climbing. I don't know. Who do you think he fights next?
I personally love that Dom Cruz call out.
Who was Dom Cruz angling for? Aldo, right?
Yeah, he was angling for Jose. I think they go in that direction, if
Probably.
I'm being honest, because that's a big-ass fight.
Well, Aldo has to fight. I think for Aldo, it has to be either TJ or Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that would be two pretty sweet fights. Because it's like two, ex-champions fighting each other.
Yeah, also Jose Aldo needs a fight that will get him another step closer to the title fight, because he's knocking at the door again after that win over Rob Font, which would be incredible to see him fight for the title. Sweet damn. But I like the Dom Cruz, a little bit Team Alpha Male. There's a backstory there, with the camp rivalry. It's also just a great fight. If we're taking a look at the rankings, though, what I think might be more likely is maybe a Merab.
You read my mind, dude. I was literally going to say that. Because
I was thinking maybe Pedro, but
him.
The UFC's matching up with, they don't really do losses against wins.
No, they wouldn't give Pedro to, after seeing what he just did to Marlon, they're not going to give Pedro to Song.
Hey, but also moving up 5 spots, that's pretty impressive with one fight.
Well, I mean, it's pretty. I think it's deserved. I mean, I think Moraes is still a really good guy. It's just he's fighting. He's fighting the best in the world, dude. So it's like it's a flip of the coin. Either you're going to be the hammer, or you're going to be the nail sometimes. And unfortunately for him, he's been the nail the last few times.
So Merab makes a lot of sense, or maybe even Rob Font if he loses, but that might be a bit of a stretch.
That would take a long time, though. When does that Cheeto fight happen?
End of April. That's like April 30th or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be a while.
But it just fight-wise, I don't think you make this happen rankings-wise. I don't think Song is there to be super competitive yet.
But I love that Merab fight. I just love that.
That's a fun one, though, dude. That's
because I haven't heard anything about Merab in a long time. Am I tripping?
It's been a little bit since we've seen a fight, right?
Maybe it's just because he's probably helping Aljo.
Yeah, at least that one's going to be settled real soon.
Yeah, it's coming up in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, a few weeks. So there's this card, and then there is, I think, so there's UFC London, and then there's, that's right, then there's Blade Stockus.
April 9th.
Ohio. And then there's UFC 273 after a week off. So a few weeks. It's a good card. That's a fun card, man. Yeah, but Merab doesn't have a fight lined up, and they're both their last wins are against Song Yadong. Makes a lot of sense, man.
I mean, I'm with it.
I think you're onto something with that one, Blake. But speak of Yadong and Chito Vera, right now they're two of the youngest and hottest prospects in that division. Who do you think has a better chance of getting a title shot at this point? Yadong does hold the win over Chito Vera, but Chito Vera also has that main event coming up with number 5 ranked Rob Font. Yeah.
And he has that really nice finish of Frankie Edgar not too long ago. Talking about Vera. I think Vera's probably in a little bit better of a position right now at this current state, just because he's got that main event coming up. And if he gets an impressive performance in that, in that bout, then he could really be one fight, maybe even the next fight for the title. It kind of just depends. I think he'd still be one fight away, even if he's spot Rob.
Yeah, I think so.
But I mean, Song, you have to imagine he's at least 2 fights away. So I'd say right now, as it stands, Chito Vera is in a better position. But if he craps the bed against Rob Font, if he gets knocked out, or if he just has a really crappy, boring performance, I think Song could potentially jump over him, or maybe they even schedule a rematch.
A rematch won't. I mean, fight right now it won't make sense, but fight wise, a rematch would be a lot of fun between these two guys because it was like I think it's 3 fights ago. Or no, I think this might have been 4 fights ago for Adesanya.
Decent long time ago.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of years, right?
Right. Yeah, I'll say like 2 years.
Yeah, so they're a lot better than where they were when they first met.
Yeah, it'd be a good fight, and it was a really close fight the first time. I remember Vera was super upset.
Yeah, I think there's some money to be made with those two guys, though.
Hey, Vera's doing it right, dude. Everyone always wants to rematch him.
Hey, if you got all these guys asking for a rematch against you, you probably are pretty good, huh?
Yeah, or you just are really good at pissing people off.
Hey, sometimes it helps to do both when it comes to this game.
Yeah.
I feel like Cheeto is really divisive among like the fans because, especially after that Sean O'Malley fight, ever since he beat Sean, that's probably like made a lot of people. That's probably where like 90% of his haters come from. We're just Sean fans.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. But
you
what are you
included?
gonna do? I don't hate the guy. I thought he did a good job in that fight, and I really try not to get emotional about these kind of things, dude, because you're just gonna ruin your day. Like in this sport, it's like the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. I could only imagine, right? But for a fan,
you want to do me a favor and like tell 99% of MMA Twitter this, please?
Yeah, I wish. I wish they could.
They need to hear you, Blake.
Because yeah, I mean, for me personally, I used to get really in like. I think you remember. I don't know if you came to any of my earlier fight nights, but like, did you come to like any of the Cody Garbrandt fight nights when he still had like the championship?
Yeah,
dude, there was
I remember.
I
was there. I was there for like. I was there that night. The rematch between Cody and TJ.
Yes, dude. You remember when I just went outside after the fight and was just sitting on like my patio, just like head in my hands.
My boy Blake was so sad.
Oh, I was convinced that Cody was going to go out there and spark TJ, dude.
Well, he did. He almost did, and then he did the same Cody Garbrandt stuff, and TJ knocked his ass out.
Sucked. Everyone was there. I was crying for all my friends, dude. It was so trash. I was a wreck. I was drunk as a pig that night, too.
Oh, let's blame it on the beer, then. That's the only reason you cried, right?
No, I cried. I'll own it, bro. But hey, since then though, I learned don't be so emotionally invested and tied to results. Just try to enjoy the fights for what they are.
Mm-hmm. I would say I'm definitely more like emotionally invested in like the Denver Broncos than I am a particular fighter, and it kind of makes it UFC is a lot easier to watch because like I could be a fan of someone, but like it's a lot easier to be a fan of like a team, like a sports team of 32, than a dedicated fan of like one of hundreds of fighters. At least that's my opinion. That's my feeling with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could.
It's like at least
in general,
you have one team to root for.
Yeah.
Or I can have like 10 fighters I like. So if one loses, I still got the other 9. So it's not the worst thing in the world.
Well, and it's also like in football, when you lose, you're not getting knocked the F out. Whereas in fighting, sometimes you get knocked the F out or you get tapped the F out in an embarrassing fashion. So it's like that can be harmful to a fan's ego, even though it's like they're not even involved. So I mean, I kind of understand both perspectives.
Mm-hmm. I think the end of the day is just MMA Twitter. Check yourself, because most of y'all are crazy.
Just relax.
Take a chill pill, man. It's just a game. Why you have to be mad? But there's a reason I feel like this is going to be one of the longest cards in the while, where we talk about the main event for like maybe a few minutes compared to the rest of the card, because Thiago Santos versus Magomed Ankalaev was
snooze fest.
Not great. I mean, good for Magomed because, you know, he didn't lose. So now he is ranked 2 spots higher. Actually, I was kind of surprised by this. He jumps up 2 spots, and Anthony Smith and Thiago Santos drop. He's into the top 4 now. I didn't think he was going past Anthony Smith with a fight like this, but hey, you know, apparently he did. But I do think Anthony Smith is probably the next best fight for him, for either guy.
Yeah, I mean, he already fought Anthony Smith, so I'd rather him not. I mean, maybe he gets that fight back, though, since Thiago's a little, you know, I don't want to say scared, that's the wrong word, but I would say almost like tentative or, you know.
I don't know, I think they do Reyes and Santos next.
Reyes and Santos? That would be a good one.
Hopefully Reyes could find his
I like
groove
that
again.
one. I like that one because they're both going to be coming off a loss. Smith and
Reyes multiple
one because Smith has the championship experience. You know, he's been there. He's done that in 2 weight classes, and I think it would just be really good experience for Ankalaev because Anthony Smith's also very well rounded.
I think Smith is also close to another title shot possibly as well. So if Magomed is able to beat Anthony Smith, that's going to put him right close to a title. Probably, I think if you book Anthony Smith versus Magomed Ankalaev, that probably puts you the winner of that is probably 1 win away from a title shot. So I think that's pretty simple booking you could put right there.
Sorry, my dog just sneak attacked me in my room.
Oh no.
Anyway, yeah, dude. I think Ankalaev and Anthony Smith would be sweet.
You gotta watch your back, Blake.
I'm like, please don't break my stuff.
Dog's gonna come in here with the little flying knee, bro.
She tried. She basically just ran into my door. I don't know if you heard that.
I did. Is that what she did?
Yeah, she was like barking outside.
That's awesome.
Did you ask me a question? I'm sorry. I was so focused on this cuteness that's sitting on my lap right now.
Oh, can we see? Put him up for the camera. Put her up for the camera.
Georgie.
Maybe not. I mean, it's a cute dog, but
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, Anthony Smith, Ankalaev winner, probably 1 win away from title shot.
Well, what I was gonna say, dude. Oh my god, relax. Just sit down. I'm sorry. I was gonna say, man. I was watching that fight for like the first 2 rounds, and I got so freaking bored. I had a few friends over that night. They were playing chess in my kitchen.
Oh, what?
They were playing chess in my kitchen. Yeah, dude. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go watch these guys play chess because this fight's
that bad.
Like it was that bad where I went and watched.
You're watching
chess.
You're not even playing chess. Blake, you're watching people play chess instead of watching an MMA fight. A main event between 205-pound guys. I
gave it about 2.5 rounds, dude. I couldn't take any more after that. I was like, you know, life's too short. Life is too short.
Tough. Was the chess game exciting though?
Oh yeah, it was great. It was great. My friend Michael versus Laura, and Laura kicked his ass, so it was pretty good.
Ooh, like are we talking like 50-45?
Yeah. There might have been a couple 10-7 rounds in there too, actually, so it could have been even worse than that. Maybe like a 50-43.
How are you going to get 50-43 in chess?
Sass Michael, dude. Gotta be pretty stupid.
Michael, what's going on, man?
It's this guy's deal.
Bro, let's talk about Michael, how much of a freaking loser he is.
Hey, we know who's the nay-nay this week.
It's Michael's chess game. Oh.
Oh, man.
Oh, this is stupid. Oh, yeah. But it's going to do it for UFC Vegas 50. A great card as long as you don't count the main event. And keep your brain on this event because we will be coming back. We'll be circling back to it once we get to the nay of the week. But we're going to jump into my favorite segment just because it's fun to say because you guys know what time it is. It's time for What the Blank with Blake as Blake fills in the blanks of 3 statements with the blank in them, and we get to hear from our man Blake with the blank. Shooting blanks? Congrats. All right, but let's get. Of course, those that don't know how this works, we got 3 statements for Blake. Each statement has a blank in the beginning, middle, or end, and it's up to Blake to fill in whatever he chooses, whether it be a word, essay, a grunt. I don't care. It's all up to him. But in relation to the Kevin Holland news that we learned about with him stopping a shooting in Texas, I believe. And just being Kevin Holland, man. This is not even his first time stopping a crime. I think he stopped someone from stealing a car a little bit ago as well.
In his coach's neighborhood.
Yeah, so he's Kevin Holland, the GOAT of the neighborhood watch. But statement number 1, if Kevin Holland was a superhero, he would be blank.
I mean, this is a tough one because I feel like there's a lot of superheroes out there that do a lot of good stuff. I'm a big fan of Kevin Holland, though. I can see him kind of being like a Deadpool guy, you know?
Ooh,
because he's kind of mouthy and funny and all that.
Talking
stuff.
shit to people as he whips your ass.
As he whips your ass. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could kind of see him being like a Deadpool type guy.
What do you think he said to the shooter? Just talking smack in his ear as he tackled him.
Dude, I could not even begin to imagine what was being said. I'm sure he had some good lines though.
I'm sure, bro. Kevin Holland has to be the king of one-liners.
Yeah,
like when it comes to being a superhero,
funny, dude. He's too good. He's too goddamn funny.
Deadpool is perfect, bro. I think it's perfect.
I wanted to give him, a good superhero, one that he deserves because he's an awesome dude and have a lot of respect for that guy. So, I put a lot of thought into that, about 5-7 seconds.
And it doesn't matter the time. You came up with I think that's a fantastic answer there. But statement number 2 is that there's been talk. I mean, Alexander Volkanovski recently had an interview where he discussed becoming, Conor McGregor came up as of course his name does, and every champion who's anywhere close to 155 pounds. That happens to be Alexander Volkanovski, it turns out. He's just talking about a potential fight with him, whether it be at featherweight or anything else. Probably will never be a featherweight, considering Conor McGregor looks like a freaking middleweight at this point in time. But statement number 2 is that Alexander Volkanovski versus Conor McGregor is blank.
I think it's intriguing. I want to know which weight class it would be at. I would assume it would probably be like 170, 150, 155 at the lowest.
I could see lightweight. I could see Volk going up to lightweight and Conor, staying there.
Yeah. So
if Conor wants to try to put his name in the hat for a lightweight title fight, he better be able to make 155.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, I think it would be intriguing. It'd be fun to see what they could do because, Volkanovski is tough as nails. He's super well-rounded. I mean, the guy has pretty much no holes in his game. He outstruck, well, not really outstruck Holloway, but he outpointed him.
Yeah.
Was able to avoid all the submission attempts from Brian T. City and kind of busted his ass a little bit. So he's beat, I think, all the previous featherweight champs, Aldo, Holloway. So, I mean, it would be a decent fight, I think, but I just don't think he's really even close to on Conor's radar. Because you kind of need two to tango with Conor, right? Like, you don't want to just throw Conor into like a fight where he has to do all the carrying for all the media and stuff. Like, you kind of want to have him with a partner nowadays, I think, because then it's just going to be exponential. It's just going to be like the Dustin Poirier numbers, like, he's right around the 1.8 million buys or so. Whereas if you have a Volk, I'm sure you'll probably be right there in the ones, like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. But it just won't be. It'll pale in comparison to what you could do with a Nate Diaz, with a Dustin Poirier trilogy, or I guess it would be the 4th fight now.
Yeah.
And
what you call a trilogy before?
Quadrology.
Quadrology.
I don't know if that's right though. That's probably.
I don't know. Is it? Trilogy before. Let's see.
Quadrilogy.
Tetralogy.
Tetralogy. There we go. Tetralogy.
It's a tetralogy.
Ooh, that'd be pretty sweet.
You guys learned some English today.
Has there ever been a tetralogy in UFC history? There's about to be.
UFC fighters technically didn't Chuck Liddell and Tito fight 4 times, but not all of them were in the UFC. I think the 4th one was out of the UFC.
This dude on Reddit did the same thing we did. He's like, I had to Google quadrilogy. The actual word is tetralogy.
Hey, we're not alone. But I think it's so crazy. You make a great point, and I think you're right. But it's crazy to think that.
So not in the UFC, but I did see something where Wanderlei and Rampage did have a quadrilogy.
Did it happen in Bellator?
Tetralogy. God, what the hell is the word again? Tetralogy?
Tetralogy. Did it happen in Bellator?
I think, I want to say one of them did, and then I think one or two of them happened in Pride.
Of course.
I think the one
all you need to hear, Blake.
Was in UFC, maybe.
The dumbest fights happen in Pride and Bellator, of course. But
Pride was the shit back in the day, bro. You got to watch some old school stuff, man.
No, Pride was great, but there were some like really stupid fights that they put together.
Yeah, that's pretty much any organization, though, like UFC, having Chris Moutinho fight anybody.
Oh, damn. Pretty much. But
it's crazy what a week does, right? I was all hyped for Chris last week.
You were, bro. I remember that. I was like, dude, totally turned your back on him.
It's wild, bro. You got like 150,000 followers on Instagram just for getting your ass beat, and then you go out there and deliver that performance? Like, come on, bro.
Fickle.
I am fickle for that. Like, I mean, he was already on a very short leash, so
fair enough.
I have no problem admitting that.
I can respect that. But what I was saying is that it's crazy to think that Alexander Volkanovski, one of the best featherweight fighters of all time, he's on the 8-fight winning streak. He's a champion. He's beaten the best guys ever. And, you know, Conor McGregor we all know who Conor McGregor is, but it's crazy to think that Conor they would sell more pay-per-views, be a bigger fight, be a more highly anticipated fight if he fought Nate Diaz, who hasn't really done a whole lot as of late, but just name value alone makes that fight 10 times bigger than Conor versus Volk ever could be.
Yeah, that's just how it is, man. Star power,
beast, man. It's the game.
Yep, I mean people gotta realize that you can't just be amazing at fighting anymore. You have to bring a little bit of flavor to the game.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. And speaking of bringing some flavor to the game, let's talk about the man that has all the flavor, depending on your taste, and that's Colby Covington. Recently, Chael Sonnen released a little video kind of talking and making some good points, in my opinion, of why Anderson Silva should be clamoring for a fight with Colby Covington. And, of course, Chael Sonnen knows how to help make a start because Anderson Silva was a star, but their rivalry with Chael and Anderson kind of really put Anderson Silva over the top into superstardom. So Chael knows what he's talking about here, but the last statement is, I would blank if Israel Adesanya fought Colby Covington.
I would be shocked if Colby Covington fought Izzy. Not saying I wouldn't watch it or wouldn't enjoy it. I would just be shocked because, Colby has already come out and said pretty much that he's like a very natural welterweight, has he not?
Yeah, I think watched him like in the 80s. He doesn't cut a lot of weight.
Yeah. So, and how are you just going to throw Colby into the middleweight division and then he just gets an instant title shot? Like, I don't think he's done anything to necessarily deserve that. Like, nothing about his performances screamed to me like, yo, this transcends divisions. So it would just be really random. I'd watch it still, and I think Izzy would just beat the absolute brakes off of him, but...
Oh, well, it'd be like Colby versus Jorge? But worse?
It would be bad for Colby. It would be really, really bad for Colby, I think.
Optics-wise, like, I don't think this is a horrible idea, but if you just take a look at the fight and the matchup, you're losing me. You're losing me, Chael.
I think Colby's going to get his ass beat if he fights that.
And look, just the reach alone, bro.
Yeah, like it just wouldn't be good.
Kicked to hell.
Yeah. think there's better fights out there for them to make, and there's still people in the middleweight division that are making noise, So I just think that would be I don't know, that'd just be a weird route to go.
Yeah, it would definitely would be like one of the most unexpected middleweight title fights of all time.
Chael's just trying to get Colby another title fight, just trying to get him that guaranteed. What is it?
Try to help out a fellow bad guy.
How much did he get paid last time? It was like 600 something or 500? I can't remember. 400 something? Something nice, but not
good money. More money than I'll see for a while.
Yeah, Jorge got like 1.3, right? Jesus.
Jorge Masvidal still the draw, ladies and gentlemen. But this would be wild. Izzy is. People have kind of like soured on Izzy as of late, is what it feels like. Or
Really?
at least like, or it feels like maybe not people have soured on him, but the public perception is kind of turning on him a little bit. Whereas like maybe, is he still feeling the effects of the Yoel Romero fight?
I think it doesn't help him that he's such a confident guy. And he's not been getting the results that he expects to get as of recent. Like the Whitaker
He has been
fight,
getting crazy knockouts.
the Vittori fight, So there's an opportunity for
The
people to come in
Jan
there.
fight.
And yeah, the Jan Blachowicz fight. So really, I want to say that's like the last 3 fights he's been in, right? Yeah, so it gives people an opportunity to kind of shit talk. But at the end of the day, I think he's still a stud, and everyone knows that. It's just, it takes two to tango.
And Robert Whitaker brought it. I thought that was a solid fight. I had no qualms with that one.
I thought it was a decent fight. I just didn't think Robert was really going out there to. I just felt like he was really almost overly strategic.
Sometimes you just got send it.
Yeah, dude, just send it for a round.
At least 5 minutes right there. Oh, man. But there's going to do it for What the Blank with Blake. Give us your thoughts. Drop those in the comments or hit us up over on the social medias on Twitter or Instagram, giving your thoughts on this one. Especially, do you agree with Kevin Holland being Deadpool? Because I think if you're going to have any big comparison, I think that's great. Blake, just relieved you did not say Black Panther, because I feel like that might put us in at least a little bit warm water.
I was going to say, dude, that was like a loaded question, so I was really
Right.
I'm like, I'm not going to do anything racially motivated here. It's all, based off of his personality, and we're all good.
We're good. We're good. Maybe we can go yet another day without being canceled. Unlike Sean Strickland, because he couldn't keep his mouth shut about Khalil Roundtree and just saying some. I just real quick before we get to UFC London. Out of all the stuff Sean Strickland has said, he said some stuff that could get you taken down. At least suspend off of Twitter for some people. But I still hold true to this. I tweeted this out, but I think that his kind of tweet talking smack about Khalil Roundtree is the most controversial thing he'll ever say.
I mean, that says a lot.
Exactly. But I think how it's funny is just
Just to be clear, you're talking about the one where he was saying like he blooded
kind
his
of calling him
mouth
like a
or
beta and
something
stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw the full thing then, because I just remembered him saying something about I sparred this guy and bleeded the mouth and I was laughing and he never sparred me again. That was the only one that I saw.
Okay, let me try to find it for you then. Let's see.
I might have missed this because I'm like, what the heck did he do now?
I think you did. Let's see if I could. Come on.
Did he post like a video or something too? I didn't click on the video.
No, or at least the one I saw, and the one that he was getting kind of ratioed for is just it was just a worded tweet. Here we go. So Sean Strickland said exactly. So he kind of tweeted out the video with Khalil Roundtree crying. Said gay. I'll put this in quotes so we can avoid the cancels, right? Of course, I don't know if we're big enough to get canceled yet. Maybe in the future. Well, once we get big, they'll go back 10 years ago, right? And then find this. And
They go
then,
to the
like Joe
archives.
Rogan.
Yep.
Like Joe Rogan, they'll take everything out of context and then just put together a compilation video on me.
I think we're doing a little better than Rogan was doing.
Yeah.
Rogan was doing.
Maybe, but to quote, gay shit I've ever seen, and I love by a woman, so I've seen a lot of gay. Yeah, you're really special. A special little snowflake. This man is the definition of a PC beta male in all caps. You all would hate him. Seriously, being in the same room as him makes me cringe. So controversial. 860 likes as of looking at this to 550 replies. But of course, that first sentence is such a Sean Strickland thing. Oh, man.
So are they going to fight next or what?
I unfortunately, Sean Strickland might be too far up there, but for him talking all the smack, at least Khalil Roundtree's an exciting fighter. He isn't just going to talk about killing people out of the octagon and then go and just jab someone for 5 minutes.
Yeah, Sean talks a big talk, but really hasn't walked that hard of a walk yet, I feel like. Really just that Brendan Allen performance was like his last TKO, I want to say.
Mm-hmm. Also,
he's had some good performances, but it's like, dude, you don't really put any fear to anyone's heart.
No, especially not against that one Dos Santos guy that knocked him out a few years ago. That I saw that making the rounds on Twitter. For sure, trying to ratio him, and I think it worked. But we're going to wrap things up. Last segment we're going to jump into here is UFC London, which is looking like a hell of a card, as Blake pointed out a little bit earlier before we started recording. Definitely looks like the matchmakers gave the UK guys a little bit of loving with their matchups in this one, maybe some favorable ones, if you want to put it that way. But there's some really great fights taking place, and I love the 2:00 Mountain Time main card start. I think that's great. It's going to be some good fun there. But we get to see guys like Alexander Volkov against Tom Aspinall, two guys at two very different parts of their career. So this is a great test for Tom to see what he can really do. We get to see the return of Meatball Molly and even some other fights like Krylov and Paul Craig, which is somehow on the prelims. But that's a great matchup right there. Shout out to fourth and long veteran, or at least someone who's previously been on with us, the youngest and one of the best women's prospects in the world in Corey McKenna. She returns from a lengthy layoff because she had an ankle injury, so she's back in action. And Nate Wood is going to be freaking sweet. So we're looking forward to that one. But Blake, without further ado, what are the Blake's bangers for UFC London?
Let's get to it. First things first, we're going to go Jai Herbert versus a guy that just got hit in the face with hand sanitizer, aka Ilya Topuria.
Was it hit? I thought it was a water bottle.
It was either
hand sanitizer.
Well, Patty said hand sanitizer, so I'm going to take Patty's word for it since he wasn't there. But
he's the one that threw it.
It was a bottle of some form of liquid, let's say.
He threw a bottle.
And it was hilarious. If you guys haven't seen that, you got to check it out.
And then Topuria tried to come in with the hook and totally just hits air.
Yeah.
It was
just crazy.
You're a real badass, bro.
Behind a table with 6 of his crew members. Yeah, that was crazy.
Just Patty by himself.
Man.
Real cool, bro. And then he tries to pull this is cool.
Bro. Hold me back.
Right? And then he posts it on Instagram where it's just going to make him look that much more of a dumbass.
Yeah, he's silly.
Jackass, sit down, boy. But
that's
also,
the first banger. Herbert
Topuria a good fighter, though.
Topuria.
It's not like he's a bad fighter. That was just kind of a bitch move.
It was weird. I think this should be a decent fight, though. He's a talented fighter. Herbert's a talented fighter. We'll see what happens. There's quite a reach advantage for Herbert. I think it was, 77 to 69 inches, right?
Yeah, a bit of a discrepancy right there.
6'1" to 5'6", if these Google numbers aren't lying to me again. But yeah, next fight up on the bangers, we're going to have the boy, of course, Paddy Pimblett versus Rodrigo Vargas. I mean, enough said. Paddy Pimblett, hype train, cash cow. Do I need to keep going?
Not gonna lie, I don't know who his opponent is, but Paddy, all I know is that he's gonna blow the roof off the arena when he makes his entrance.
It's
like, if you throw it back to the one from a couple years ago with Cage Warriors, oh, he's gonna make that place loud.
So, do you remember Zhu Rong?
Yes,
the guy that I think didn't he just get beat by?
He just beat in this weight. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the last guy that that's the last fight that Vargas had, and he beat him by unanimous decision. Ooh. So, just a little backstory on him for you.
Fair enough.
But yeah, last fight on the bangers, the featured banger, of course, for this week, going to be Arnold Allen versus Dan Hooker.
Who else, bro? This is a great fight.
Co-main event spot. I mean, all eyes are going to be on these two dudes, so it's going to be great. I mean, I think it's a good chance for Hooker to showcase that he's going to be fine in this, featherweight division, a division down from where he was previously, lightweight 155.
Yeah. At least he has had some experience in this. I think 6 fights in the featherweight division.
Yeah.
So he's no stranger, but also, Allen he's on the 8-fight winning streak, probably one of the quietest like top streaks in the UFC, and it's time for the second longest streak in UFC featherweight history. So
damn.
Yeah, he's tied with a couple of guys. He might be Jose, and I know Volk is there. The only guy with the longer one is Max Holloway at 13.
Damn, he's getting up there.
It's a good list,
right?
That's a good fight, though, bro. That's a really
good
fight.
Card. I think it should be a pretty damn good card, top to bottom.
Some good bangers.
I'm saying they're gonna hit again. No curse, telling you.
Knock on wood for you right now, my man. But let's get to the predictions. Main event time. We are going to be taking a look at 2 of the best heavyweights in the world. Right now, we got the streaking Tom Aspinall, who's up to number 11th in the heavyweight division, against Alexander Volkov, who just recently dropped out of the top 5. He is number 6. We got 11 versus 6. Tom Aspinall, first main event, and it's taking place in his home country. A little bit of pressure there. Hopefully the Chris Dawkins, not the Chris Dawkins, hopefully the Derek Lewis effect doesn't, kind of come into play with, his struggles in his home city of Houston. How you see this one going, though? A little bit of a younger guy, but streaking against a guy that's on not necessarily a slide, but he's definitely been there. And Volkov has a lot of fights under his belt.
This is a tough one for me to pick, but I'm probably going to have to go with the young bull, Tom Aspinall. I just think it's he's kind of just been on this steady rise, and I have a lot of belief in him, and I think he's going to get the job done by probably unanimous decision, I would say.
I guess I have to go against you there because, I am rooting for Tom Aspinall. I hope he wins, just because he's really exciting, and I want to see him continue to rocket up the rankings. But I think this just might be a little bit too much, especially Tom Aspinall in his last fight. He was asking for, a good step up into the rankings in a non-main event. They kind of gave him a big step up in the rankings and the main event. So I really hope he's ready for this one because he's super exciting. But I think I'm going to ride with the experience, and Volkov is still no slouch. He's a solid fighter, man. He well deserving the number 6 ranking. So I'll go with him via decision.
Fair enough.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good one though. I guess technically we were both wrong last week. But I did have it going, the distance. So we'll see how we can fix things this week, right?
What did I say last week? 3rd round TKO or something by Ankalaev?
Yeah, you said Santos TKO.
No, I definitely picked Ankalaev. You picked Santos.
Oh, my bad. Okay, excuse me. So we're both just half. Yeah, we're both just half right.
I specifically remember giving you a crazy look when you told me you were going to go for Santos. I was like, really?
Yes, it went the distance, which was actually going the distance alone was kind of like a hot take going into this. If you see all the predictions,
yeah,
I did not see that. Neither guy's a finisher, and apparently we got the proof here. These guys can finish, but seeing what we've seen from Volkov the last couple fights, he's fought some good decisions. Normally when there's a knockout in his fight, it's him getting knocked out.
Derek Lewis style.
Shout out Derek Lewis. But yes, you are going unanimous decision with the young Tom Aspinall. I'm going with Alexander Volkov, and I'm just excited for a really good day of fights. And also, another fight I want to hype up before we get to the Nene is, it's going to be a big day for UK fighters, and it's also going to be a big day for this UK now boxer as well, because 2017 World's Strongest Man winner Eddie Hall from the UK is going to be fighting Hafthor Bjornsson in a boxing match taking place in Saudi Arabia. And it literally the biggest boxing match of all time. And I am super excited for this one because they've been training for like a couple years now. And they also hate each other, which makes me that much more happier. And I am rooting for Eddie Hall because before going into strongman, he was actually training to be an Olympic swimmer. So he knows how to compete. And also, the cardio is there. I'm looking forward to this one, Blake. You're going to be watching? It's on free TV as well. Free streaming.
Is that
as
like
opposed to my typical free streaming?
Is that like a site? It's called free streaming?
No. There's an actual thing. I forget what site it's streaming to. It's on Eddie's Instagram that I've seen it. But I am legitimately excited for this fight because, like, I'm a pretty big fan of strongmen, and fights are better with backstory, right? This fight has a whole hell of a lot of backstory. Also, Hafthor, he has sparred with Conor McGregor before too.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're going to see what happens. You said that's this Saturday?
Yeah, it's on Saturday, too. I forget exactly what time their fight specifically is taking place, but I'm a little interested. Once you said that they don't like each other, I kind of got... Oh, Bro, it's almost like Colby and Horace. They used to be friends, then 2017 at the competition, they became enemies, and they've hated each other since.
Yeah, this needs to get settled.
Right? And it was supposed to happen last year, too, but it got pushed back because of injury. So.
All right. Well, let's see what happens. You need to send me a reminder on Saturday, boy.
I got you. I got you. I'll try to be happy up the rest of this week because more people need to pay attention to strongmen. And this just might be a stupid, fun boxing event because, I don't really care about boxing. But you give me 300-plus pound dudes that are literally been the strongest men in the world. Hafthor Bjornsson has, I don't think he's won it, but he's podiumed like 6 times.
That's pretty damn good.
He's also the Mountain from Game of Thrones.
I was going to say, is that not the Mountain or?
That's the Mountain.
Because when you said he sparred with Conor McGregor, I was like, okay, is that the same dude?
It is the same dude.
So then, yeah, I'm definitely not rooting for him because I hated him in Game of Thrones.
Not gonna lie, the way he killed that one guy in that kind of fight was pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely deserved to die in that fight. He pretty much did die. I think they brought him back to life.
Yeah, they brought him back to life.
Yeah.
But also the way he just kind of squeezed that dude's head and was kind of
disgusting. But it was also very impressive, too.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he couldn't do that in real life.
I don't want to find out.
Don't get on his bad side. Luckily, this fight's not MMA. That would have been... It'd be hard to get a choke in with those arms. How would you get under the neck?
Whatever. Yeah, I don't think you choke, you just kind of squish.
Just kind of squish. Luckily, we don't have to figure that out, but we're going to find out the winner of them real soon. But Blake, we're going to cap things off with, of course, the Nene of the weekend. I said keep your minds kind of on UFC Vegas 50 because this was going to loop back, and the winner of the Nene of the week this week is Thiago Santos' main event hopes and dreams, because after his last couple wins, Johnny Walker, then this one, ain't no way he should ever be getting a main event, even if it's for somehow he's fighting for the light heavyweight title again. Just no, man. He has a chance. He had 2 chances, in fact. It's just, I don't want it.
Yeah, pretty much since the John Jones title fight, it's just been all downhill.
I kind of feel bad for him, but also, if you're going to be in the main event, you kind of got to be a main event fighter.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Otherwise, people are just going to go watch their friends play chess at the dinner table, so.
Sweet damn, dude. That's disrespectful. Watching chess.
Oh, shit. That's disrespectful how many punches they didn't throw. God. I would keep looking back oh, something happened yet? Nope.
Back
to
chess.
They're just staring at each other.
Bro, okay. Nice rook move. All right.
Exactly, dude.
Jeez, dude. Unbelievable. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to UFC Talk 82, of course. It's always a great time, and we got to a few off-topic ones. We hit our quota, and we are feeling great. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed UFC Vegas 50. Hopefully, you're going to enjoy the hell out of UFC London. But Blake, your thoughts on UFC Vegas in one word or phrase?
Last week's UFC Vegas, just to be clear.
Yes.
The only thing that comes to mind is that soccer kick by Khalil Roundtree. I don't know how to describe that though.
That was some pretty cool shit. Also, part 2, your thoughts on Michael's chess game in one word or phrase.
Garbage. He's very overrated, bro. Very overrated. Talks a big game, but when you get to playing, you'll see it's not that big of a deal.
The Sean Strickland of chess. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week.